Kansas State offensive coordinator and former quarterback Colin Klein is going to be their next OC. Joe, I saw people around, I guess casuals around college football, like, oh my God, this guy's a bad hire. And I'm like, bro, they had a top 25 offense in the country with Will Howard as a quarterback. Like, what are you talking about? Okay. Like, they are one of the better scoring offenses in the country. Joe, they averaged 37 points, almost 38 points a game at Kansas State. Like, Colin Klein really can call plays. Like, if I'm kind of watching, I'd be like, hey, man, this guy can kind of dial some stuff up. And he is one of the better coaches that I know that people talk about and steal things that they do in the red zone. I know for a fact that LSU even implemented some stuff that Colin Klein put in at Kansas State for the red zone. I think it's a really good hire by Mike Elko for hiring Klein. What do you think?
First thought, love it, but I can't help but laugh at the parallel that we can make to another university.
Connie Reese in Notre Dame.
Yeah, it's the Midwestern
action. Paying people, man.
They literally did the same exact thing that happened with Tommy Rees. They stole him away from his alma mater where he was the offensive coordinator. That to me is really entertaining, and I love it. It's a copycat league. It's one of those leagues where everyone wants to steal approaches and hiring decisions from other coaches. It happens all the time. But what you just brought up there a second ago, why I like this hire, anyone who's not been paying attention to college football, the ones that are the ones that are complaining about this. If you've watched Kansas State, there were way too many games that they were in that they should not have been because their offense was playing really well. You just talked about like Will Howard. Will Howard's market value right now is soaring because of the results that he put on the field. And he is a mediocre quarterback at best. He's fine. He made him look a lot better than he was. This team, outside of Cooper Beebe, who's going to be a top 100 pick, and Sinnott, the tight end, there's not a lot of crazy good athletes on that offense. And he's still found
white skill players. That's what I think.
That's got nothing. I just talked about how Sinnott's going to be a top 100 pick, the tight end. My point is,
he looks like Mike Allstott as a tight end.
He kind of does. He's stocky. He's wide. My point is, though, he found a creative approach to get guys in space, to produce yards. It was one of those things where it'd be third down, and then you're just thinking, oh, they're going to convert this when you watch them play games. I love the hire. Very, very creative. You bring him into a situation where he's actually has some athletes to work with. I think that this offense could take some huge steps forward in the first couple of seasons.
We'll see. Now, look, they need to hold on to some of these weapons now, okay, because this is a different ball game from where Colin Klein is coming from. Just because Tommy Rees had success doesn't mean that Colin Klein will have success, especially at A&M.
Right.
Okay, so let's just understand that it's a different animal. And remember how people were clowning Tommy Rees in the beginning of beginning of the season that, oh, you should have known better than hiring Tommy Rees. And look, there was a lot of criticism that he took until later in the year where they got better. Look, one thing that I think too, it tells me exactly the philosophy of what Mike Elko wants to do. Joe, they're going to run the football. They're going to spread you out, and they're going to run the football at a high and effective rate. So, I don't think anything changes because you know what? It's an upgraded version of a coordinator of exactly, Joe, what they did at Duke. It's almost identical. They're going to run RPOs. They're going to run some triple option principles with the tight end out in the flat, zone read, give it, keep it, or throw it into the flat. They're going to do all of those things. So with all of that being said, I don't think it's a bad hire. I think it's a damn strong hire. But the one thing that I will ask, can Colin Klein recruit? Okay? And I know you can say at A&M that might not be a problem. Mm-hmm. But the problem has been not only being able to recruit, but to develop those pieces that university can get. All right, Jimbo did not do a fantastic job of developing. So he's going to have to be good at recruiting and developing for this team to take the next step. Because, Joe, here's the truth. We know exactly what they can be defensively. We literally just saw it. We literally just saw what the potential of Texas A&M can be on defense. Joe, if they have any semblance of an offensive system, they're going to be a problem to deal with.
To answer your question on if he can recruit, the answer is yes. I look at the fact, it's not like again, I just talked about how it's not like a sexy group of elite recruits that are at Kansas State. But the quarterback that he brought in, the young quarterback that he brought in, Avery Johnson, was the 9th overall quarterback in his class. So true freshman this past year.
Correct.
When was the last time that we could think of the Kansas State was able to pull a kid that good? I know Will Howard was.
It's called Colin Klein.
I wonder how highly recruited he was.
I don't even know, but he had to be a pretty good prospect, no?
Let's see. I don't think he was.
Remember, it was him and Johnny Manziel at the Heisman Trophy ceremony, and they sat next to each other?
He was a 0-star recruit.
Oh. They probably just found him on a farm somewhere in Kansas.
He was from Colorado.
They probably found him on a farm somewhere in Colorado. Doesn't he look like he worked on a farm?
Yeah, no, he kind of gives. He kind of gives.
Yeah, he kind of gives that he worked on a farm vibe. So this shouldn't be too bad for him.
No, I mean, I think that. I mean, minus the joke that you're making there. I think that he's going to be able to recruit well to attract. Avery Johnson was a local kid. He's from Kansas, so it's not like super hard to get a kid like that to stay home. But to get him to come when he had programs like Notre Dame were sniffing around, there were a lot of big programs that were sniffing around Avery Johnson. To get him to stay and to be a part of that offense and to get him to contribute early on, I think those are all positive signs. And they're positive signs for Weigman early on.
Well, just understand that the recruit that he was going up and people he was going up at Kansas State is not the same teams and programs that he goes up against with Texas A&M. Because, look, at least covering a team in the SEC every single day, he's going to go against LSU. He's going to go against Texas. He's going to go against Oklahoma. He's going to go against Baylor, Texas Tech. Even though I don't think that those schools amount to a whole hell of a lot, he still has to battle for them. He has to battle Alabama. He has to battle Georgia. Ohio State frequently goes into the state of Texas and grabs a player or two. So with that being said, it's a different level. Like you're taking a step up a notch. Right? And you can only pay people so much. It's one thing to recruit. It's another thing to recruit and be able to eye somebody that you can develop to, which is, I think, offensively been their issue. All right.
Make sure you check out BetOnline for all of your sports betting needs. For anything that I do betting related, I go on over to betonline.ag and I use promo code BELIEVE50. BetOnline has all of the latest updated odds for the NFL and college football seasons. Anything you need, whether it's futures, live in-game betting, no matter what, your football betting needs are met at BetOnline. And again, make sure you use that promo code BELIEVE50, BLEAV50 to get a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts.